Thank you, Benny. Now I have the honor to invite one of Israeli key players in high-tech and a serial entrepreneur and founder, and now the CEO of ThetaRay, the cyber. Please welcome Mark Gazit. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. And I know that you hear a lot about how to strategically prepare yourself to the new world of cybersecurity attacks. My name is Mark Gazit. And I would like to share with you why we do believe that AI is the next stage or next phase of cybersecurity protection. We started this morning by many talking about artificial intelligence and how it can help in the future. I would like to share with you ideas why you need artificial intelligence now to help you protect your companies. Because if you think about it, today, cybersecurity protection, protecting your operational data, protecting your organizations is almost like finding this needle in a haystack. We have huge amount of hackers that produce huge amount of data. Normal operational behavior produce huge amount of data as well. So how do you find this one threat? But I guess before, we just need to realize that the world of threats has changed. Today, it's not only about viruses and malware and defacing websites and stealing information. Today, bad guys are after the crown jewels of the organizations. If you're a financial institution, hackers will use their means to steal real money. If you're an aviation company, hackers will try to cause damage. If you're an operational company, they maybe would like to shut down your facilities. And also the border between organization and outside organizations has changed. So if you have people using mobile devices, they are in the organization and actually bringing the world inside your protected domain. If you use a cloud, then basically your organization is outside your organization. So perimeter-based solution doesn't work anymore. And while we all understand it, why we still see cybersecurity means that allow people to steal money, and you can see examples. You know, the world of cybercrime has changed, and there is a whole day about it tomorrow at FraudCon. Today, nobody would really try to break into a bank and try to steal money from a vault of a bank like it happened in Ocean 11. Today, it's much easier to steal $81 million through SWIFT and allegedly to sneak the money to North Korea. Or to steal just $1 from a bank account, do it automatically using machines, call this transaction iTunes transaction, do it 20 million times in a row, nobody will pay attention, especially if you steal money from people that have 40 iTunes transactions a month. But within 1 month, you stole $20 million, you disconnect your network, no risk, a lot of reward. So we understand that we need to analyze operational data to find cybersecurity attack. But it's not as easy as it sounds. We work with organizations like General Electric, also investors in our company, and they deal with airplane engines. One engine of 787 airplane produces 20 terabytes of data one single flight. It's 400 times the Library of Congress. Human beings cannot analyze this data anymore. And if you look at almost any type of organization, the amount of data that we collect is more and more. So we know there is a world of rule-based solutions. Why rule-based solutions don't work anymore? Because rules today are built by people, and when we build rules to find some suspicious activity, we can only do things that we know about. Or maybe we can think about. And suddenly when there is much more data coming, we need to create more and more rules. So cyber people will create rules for the firewalls. And then financial people will create rules to deal with money laundering. And operational people maybe will do rules that will try to catch failures in engines. But it's very difficult to combine it together. And when you have a lot of rules, you also create a lot of false alarms. And then you miss those attacks that you do not expect. And we all know that the real danger is coming not from the things we know. It's actually coming from the things that we don't know, and we don't even know that we don't know. So how you guys can use AI for that? And our solution is just one example. Basically, machines that digest all the data. They don't take any meaning or don't give any meaning to the data. Of course, human knowledge and domain expertise is just one input, but we believe that machine can analyze much more. And then machines can look at all the data in real time, simultaneously, with very high speed and very high precision, and identify issues and notify about real issues. Now, I know that AI sounds very sophisticated, and it is. Our company was born in this particular university by Professor Averbuch. So let me give you an example, a real example about a financial institution, how they used operational data, business data, to identify cybersecurity attack. And let me give you a problem and think for a second that you manage in the fraud detection of a bank. This bank gives loan to consumers, everything is good, margins are great. Then they take the loan business, lending business, and make it online. So you don't need to come to the branch of a bank, you can use your mobile phone to take a loan. Simple. And they suddenly saw that the entire business stopped working for them. Suddenly they started to lose money in this very profitable business. They tried to understand what's going on, brought the best financial people, couldn't find any problem because everything looks okay, and still they're losing money. So they install, in this case, our system, artificial intelligence system, that digests historical data. It took a machine 2 hours to digest 2 months of data, and within seconds, machine identifies bunch of transactions with total value of more than $10 million that was fraudulent. Now, I give you an example what happened. Think for a second that you are sort of forensic expert, because I know that you get a lot of data, so I want you to work a little bit. So the system analyzes and finds a relationship between few parameters. Each one of them is okay, so human beings cannot find it, but the relationship between them is suspicious, and I will tell you the parameters. Try to think if you can find an answer. First parameter was age of the consumer, which for a computer just a number, but for a bank means the age of the consumer that took a loan, and all the ages were between 16 to 19. Young, but legal age. Second number was transaction size, the size of a loan, and it was less than average. Basically, it's okay. Actually, it's a lower risk transaction. And the third one was transaction type. What type of loan did people take? And what was the type of transaction is a product that was called small mortgage. So when you take a sort of mortgage to buy your car or small apartment. Also a very varied type of transaction. But if you look at the relationship between three of them, can you see there is a problem? I see that some of you can. They gave mortgages to minors, which is totally impossible. It cannot be, it's illegal. And when they first saw it, they said, it cannot be, we will never do it. And they're right, in physical world that is governed by people, it could never have happened because you have a physical person looking at physical clerk with a physical ID signing physical papers. But what happened in the virtual world is that there was a cybersecurity attack. And of course, the bank is not stupid. They developed a beautiful system that should check the age of the customer. They even had a connection to the government database, getting information about the customers and comparing the numbers. But hacker found that if you shut down the connection to the government server, then there's a bug in the software that will approve transactions that shouldn't be approved. They took real kids, real assets, took loans for those kids, and then didn't repay the loan. And obviously what happened is that 6 months later, when bank came and said, I will confiscate your car or a small apartment, they said, what do you mean? You gave mortgage to my 16-year-old kid. Would you like us to go public about it? Now you understand what happened. Bank just made it disappear. So it's one example where by looking at operational data that has nothing to do with viruses, network data, etc., machines could identify cybersecurity attack with very high precision. And of course, it's something that was truly unknown. Existing people in the bank could even imagine this thing happening, so even the user interface should be totally different. There are no existing systems that don't know how to present this type of multi-channel issues. So why use machine learning? Because machine learning, from our experience, finds between 3 to 6 times more operational issues than existing solutions. But this is not the most important part. I believe that the most important part is level of false alarms. You all understand that today the level of false alarm is huge. Do you remember the Target attack where they lost like 40 million credit cards, even more? You know, every day they had about 25,000 alerts. And the day of the breach actually showed another 25,000 alerts. 3 of them were very low-level alerts that showing that something wrong is going on. Nobody paid attention to it. And then CIO was fired. I think not very justly. So machines actually don't suffer from this problem, because if you talk about very deep level of machine learning, every transaction, every amount of data will train machine better and better. And it's very different from the world that we used to, where we have more rules and more data. It's like home security system. The more sensors you have, the higher is the level of false alarms. When you talk about machine learning, it's exactly the opposite. It breaks this paradigm. The more data it is, the more finding there are, the lower is the level of false alarms. In our case, we usually show that we can reduce the number by 100 times, which is huge. And of course, because machines use very deep level of machine learning, you don't need to update them. They update themselves. The deployment time is very fast, so it's very convenient. And the benefit for you guys that run enterprises is that it allows you to increase the immunity of your systems. Now, many people compare biological viruses to network viruses. I have to say that my daughter studies biology here in Tel Aviv University. She's much more advanced in cybersecurity than I am. And if you think about it, real viruses that are very dangerous to us cannot be dealt with using antibiotics. Actually, we now know that sometimes it can make viruses even stronger. And we know that today the best way to deal with future viruses is actually to increase the immune systems of our organizations or our organs. The same, we believe, works for large organizations as well. And when you use this type of solutions, not only you increase your, strengthen your immunity or your organizational immunity, but you also reduce operational costs because of the very low level of false alarms. And you mitigate damages, because just your body immune system can identify virus and kill it very fast. Machines can catch problems extremely fast before they became fatal problems. So, you know, I started this presentation by talking about this huge problem of finding needle in a haystack. But if you ask our customers, they will tell us that the problem is even more difficult. It's not looking for a needle in a haystack, it's actually looking for a needle in a needle stack, because all the problems look the same. And we also believe, and I'm the first one to say it, that this world of big data and cybersecurity and machine learning not only create infinite threats, but also create infinite opportunities. And that's, I believe, one of the reasons why our company got so many awards and appreciation to our customers. To summarize quickly, we believe that there is a real need that becomes more and more important. We talked a lot about the fact that cybersecurity can affect real life, even maybe elections. And we also believe that in order to deal with unknown unknowns, which is a very innovative way to attack systems, you need very innovative technologies. In a way, we believe that the world is governed by machines, and hackers do use machines. You need machines to help human beings to make a world a safer place, and to do it in a way that will allow us as human beings to understand machine input. And I am a strong believer that machines will not replace human beings, but history shows that machines help human beings to become safer. And I've often been asked, so what's the future? You know, hackers running so fast, and there are attacks, etc. I believe that this movie has always a happy end, because maybe the bad guys are faster, smarter, and don't have restrictions, but there are many more good guys. So I believe that eventually, with the help of machines, we will win. Thank you very much.